Looks like there is a huge transfer block for Amadou Onana to Arsenal, and the man responsible to run the side of Everton, that is the manager, is the one responsible for obviously saying no to the board. But the board needs to go ahead and really do the needful. We are going to analyze both sides and see what exactly that means. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really having fun. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And as I brought you a story, I think, is it 2-3 days back, of Jordan Henderson wanting to leave the Saudi Pro League. Juventus have gone ahead to make contact with the former Liverpool captain, and he's obviously trying to see to it that he crosses to the side of Italy. And lastly, we are gonna talk about something very important in the game of football, and it's gonna be all about Phil Foden, on how he's enjoying playing in the middle of the park. Remember, he's being played as a central attacking midfielder, and his numbers are not really lying. So we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslim is Barakallahu Fikum, and hope you guys are really doing okay. Today is really the day that the African Cup of Nations is really starting. Ivory Coast is opening up today, and in the next 2 hours, it's gonna be bonfire down in Ivory Coast, and that's where everything is gonna do. I really want to bring a video of how Didier Drogba is gonna hit obviously won Nigeria ahead of the comments of the African Cup of Nations. He's telling them that the trophy is staying in Ivory Coast. Will they manage to keep it there? All that and more into the comment section below. Now, let's see close to 100 likes in this video, and let's continue to see to it that you guys continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Now, let's start it off with none other than Jacob Steinberg. He's a football reporter for The Guardian, and he has told us that Arsenal boss Sean Dyche will rebuff Arsenal's approach for midfielder Amadou Onana, with the Merseyside club keen to keep the Belgian this window. Onana is valued at £50 million. Now, Sean Dyche is this kind of manager who wants players like Amadou Onana, their intensity, their work rate, the way they are really agile, or their agility is really very important to him. And he's really a rare breed of a player who has a lot of quality to him, and he has every attribute that is required to play in the Premier League. And you really feel sorry for Sean Dyche that if you're not having Onana, how are you gonna really do this? And why has the story gonna have to come up like this? Yet Everton was willing to sell in the previous days. They are willing to sell, but they had found a very huge replacement for him from Man United. That is Hannibal. Hannibal, by the way, is a talented player, and he's like this guy. He works hard, he runs, he tackles, and he's relentless each and every time he's being given a chance to play on the field of play. But the problem is Sevilla looks like it's gonna hit to win the battle, and Everton is hijacked for Hannibal has not gone as to plan. And I think this is why Sean Dyche is telling his board, if you're not getting in Hannibal on loan, then why are we going to let this lad leave? However much we need the money in, but we need to do things in the right way. So I really understand that he's one of those players that are in Everton that can play in every Premier League team. He can start at Man City, he can start at Manchester United, he can start at Arsenal, he can start at Liverpool, name it. Amadou Onana, he can do a lot, and if he can do that at different teams, then Everton needs him a lot. Without a replacement, a lot is not gonna really happen. The deal of Hannibal from Man United to Sevilla looks like it's gonna be done in a space of 2-3 days from now, and this is exactly what Sean Dyche has gonna hate, obviously coming through and really say no to the board. But however much he says no to the board has nothing to do, unless otherwise they find means of really getting in money, not to get more points deducted. Everton have gonna hate obviously work hard, and they are trying to see to it that they obviously do the needful to see to it that they collect points. I'm gonna hate obviously see themselves deducted off 9 points, having gone ahead to collect some good points, they are back into the relegation zone. And when you look at Everton right now, they've gone ahead to win very many games, and they are back to where they deserve to be. And when you look at everything and the table, Everton is having 16 points. So if at all they never chopped off the 9, they would have gone ahead to be having 25 points, meaning that they would have gone ahead to be 12th onto the Premier League table. So right now, they're 17th, and the board will sit down and really tell Sean Dyche, the manager of Everton, that please, staying with Amadou Onana, and seeing more 10 points deducted from us because of the financial fair play bleaches that we've gone ahead to make, and selling him for £50 million and finding a replacement that can obviously do the job at like £10 million and see to it that we balance our books of accounts. What would you prefer? You know, I think that will let him in dilemma, and a decision will take long to be made, but he will finally come out and really say, all right, let's sell the player because we fought hard to get in these points. Because keeping him around and knowing that you are going to be deducted off those points is really very insane. Now, if you're having Gue, you're having Ghana, you're having Dokore and Gomez, if you add on another midfielder of £10 million or £5 million, you know, that will be acting well. Today, the African Cup of Nations is starting. Trust me, if I told you are Sean Dyche and you want a player in the quality of Amadou Onana, it's very easy to get one. You know, scout the African Cup of Nations for just 1 week. You can easily get in a replacement for this guy, or else go to France. Go to France, and after going to France, you'll obviously get players, you know, who play more or less like Amadou Onana. And I think Sean Dyche is blocking this transfer because, as a manager, I wouldn't like to lose a player that's going to hit obviously show how important it is for the club. And he's really trying to put in a lot of effort. So that is Amadou Onana. And it is really naive of Sean Dyche not to understand what the board wants. The team is really having financial problems and they might lose more points. So that is the only way how Arsenal can really get this man, if at all they decide to go in for him and try to do the need. And I think this is what is stopping the bid for Amadou Onana, because Everton hasn't gone ahead to obviously make up their mind on whether they are going to sell or not. And for any understanding club, all you have to first do is simple. First get in the replacement and then sell the player. Now, the moment we see to it that they have gone ahead to get in the replacement, then a lot will be in favor of Arsenal. Remember, I told you the last time I did the story of Amadou Onana that Hannibal was being looked to as his replacement, but Hannibal looks like he has chosen Sevilla over Everton. But Everton is still pushing to get Hannibal, but a lot is not moving into the right direction for the side of Everton. So wait and see how that happens, but Sean Dyche is standing in the way of Amadou Onana to Arsenal. So let's wait and see how that will really be sorted, because in the game of football, it's all about dialogues, and obviously a common ground will be reached on whether they are selling the player or not. The former Liverpool skipper, Henderson, has finally gotten in contact with Juventus. And who is reporting this? It's Di Marzio. You know him very well. He's a transfer expert coming in through from Italy, and he works for Sky Sport. Di Marzio has told us the following, that Juventus has made contact with Henderson as they look to strengthen their midfield. LT-Fak midfielder who is eager to leave Saudi Arabia and return to Europe could join the old lady on loan. So it looks like the major aim of Henderson to join a European team is to push for him being part of the English squad that is going to play into the Euros. I told you that competition in the midfield of Liverpool of the English national team is really huge. Let's all admit it's really huge, because when you look at Declan Rice, there is Calvin Phillips, who is also pushing to get a move to a team to start to see they obviously makes it to the Euros. There is James Maddison. After James Maddison, who else is there? There is Phil Foden. Who else is pushing that midfield? I think some players are off. Oh, there is Eze. There is Ebelechi Eze, and all those players are really performing very well. So there is this guy who plays for West Ham, Ward-Prowse. He's also another one. So they're having a lot of quality. I mean, look at the young talent that is coming in through. Look at the likes of Kobe Menu for Man United. Kobe Menu can obviously push for a slot into the Euro squad if at all he really keeps on performing at that levels he's performing at. So if you are told on Kobe Menu and Jordan Henderson, who do you take? Everyone who is watching football say, although the other one is experienced, but when you look at the quality and the league in which he's playing at, he doesn't deserve to go. That is it. So he's pushing to see that everything really goes on as to plan for him, and he wants to push for a loan in Europe. And I really understand why he wants to do that, because he wants to find himself into that team of the Euros. And however much he's earning a lot of money, it looks like he has gone ahead to know that I think this is the only chance for England to win the Euros. By the way, if Southgate goes ahead and really gets his squad right and his starting 11 and substitutions right in Germany this year in June, England are favorites. England are favorites to lift this league. Sorry, to lift the Euros, because last time they played in the final, and I think England is going there as one of the strongest teams to really face teams like Portugal and France. If England can find means of beating Portugal and France, trust me, no team can really stand in their way. That is it. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But he's pushing for a loan to go to Juventus to see to it that he obviously gets in that chance to play well in there. That is the guy called Jordan Henderson. Wait and see as it boils. But if Juventus have gone ahead to make contact, then it really gives it a lot of vibes. Now let's end this with Phil Foden. I'm loving my football, playing centrally now, enjoying it even more. I always want to help with goals and assists. Hopefully that continues and I keep performing. You are only as good as your last game. There is so many things I can improve and get better at. That is Phil Foden. And this season, he has been a revolution, you know. He has gone ahead to do a lot of work for the side of Man City, especially in the absentia of Kevin De Bruyne. And the big question is, when Kevin De Bruyne is back, how is Pep Guardiola going to play them in the midfield? Because if he spreads it to a 3-2-4-1, you understand that he can play them there. Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Doku on the left, and Bernardo Silva on the right, as Julian Alves leads the line. That's all possible. So there is no way he's going to drop this lad. He's really flying and flying and flying, and he's really doing better. But the player they went ahead to sell to Chelsea, Carl Palmer, was going ahead to score his 9th goal of the Premier League season in, I think, 16-17 games. That is really very, very, very good for this young lad who was going ahead to obviously find himself in London. So guys, your thoughts on to Amadou Onana to Arsenal transfer block are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Jordan Henderson pushing for a loan to Italy? And lastly, Phil Foden playing centrally. Do you think he's going to really have his slot, as Kevin De Bruyne is slated to start today as Newcastle hosts Manchester City at the St. James's Park? Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and the Christians. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. We out.